Hey everybody, welcome back. So here's where we're at today. Got the new piles installed in the dash. Speaker wires ran. Nice thing about having the dash out, you can tuck them back there where they belong. And I also got the other antenna cable. One I got from the junkyard, got that routed where it needs to be. I'm not sure where this clip goes, but I'll figure it out, I guess. So we had rain for, let me go over the other side. We had rain for the last week or so, and even with the carpet installed, I pulled that back, and none of the juke material was wet underneath, no water down there, so I'm gonna say that that was a great success. But I got all the wiring coming in for the stereo, so I can tuck that. It's all tucked up underneath the dash there, run up through, so I'll be able to pull that through where the stereo goes. Got the mic just sitting up there for the new radio. It's going down the A-pillar. And what else I built is back here, this false floor. So this is the Bazooka sub I'll be running, a little bit of old school. Move that out of the way. So I got it to where these seats will still go down, so that way Noah can ride back here before the age of 8, because I'm sure he'll be too big. But those fit in there nice, both sides open up. Here's the panel that I resprayed. Looks pretty good. It's a little bit lighter, I think. I don't know if you can tell. Yeah, a little bit in the video. But you know what? Unless you were pointing it out, you probably couldn't tell. So the floor, I hinged it. So there's the amp. Still got to wire that in. But it's mounted it solid, so I'll be able to get to it. And then I left it open. Looks like I'll have to add a staple here. But anyways, I left it open in the front, so that way it'll breathe. Not sure how much airflow it needs, but that turned out pretty good. Not bad for an amateur. And I haven't decided where exactly I'm going to mount this subwoofer, if I'm going to mount it like this or like this, or what I'm going to do. But I'll have to get the seat in and recline it all the way and see how much room I got. But on today's video, we're going to put this dash in. So I'm going to put this phone up on the stand and get this dash ready to go in. So a few things I already did before I forget. I did take the few mounting bolts off the top, the 4 that go across the top, and the nuts that, or the bolts that go down below. So those are ready to go. I did have to trim this carpet back for the clips and trim a little bit off the edge, so that way that sill plate would fit. But yeah, that carpet turned out pretty good for a pane. So we'll put you guys in the stand, and you can sit back and watch the show. Oh, bitch. Forgot a bolt. Show you some of this wiring as I'm doing it. So I pulled the key-on wire and the wire for the handheld through the dash. So it's going to come out right where the headlight switch is. Then I just pulled this vacuum line thing through for the heater control. And now I'm pulling all the wires through from the stereo stuff that I already ran. And you can see like where that vent is right there. I can't run the wires through there, so obviously can't pinch it, otherwise this air box won't seal. So I'm going to have to pull it down below that pickup tube that goes into that rectangular port. and then run it through. Shouldn't be a problem. I gotta undo this twist tie. Let me put that, I don't even know how I'm gonna hold this phone. Oh, you know what? No one needs to see me unroute a twist tie. I'll put you guys back on in a minute. Alright, I got the wires ran through there. Now, before the dash goes up, you can see these plugs right here. Those can be hooked up underneath the dash. This plug has to be hooked up before the dash goes up, and it plugs in right here. So there's that plug I have to do, and let's see on the other side. I saw some plugs up on the inner part of the dash. Like here's one. 4-pin. That's a 4-pin. That's obviously not reaching that. I don't remember where this one went. I don't think that there was much that I need to do behind the dash. Oh, wait a minute. What do we have here? There we go. And this one had to have plugged in there. Okay, so there's those two plugs. Everything else, I believe, is underneath the dash on this side. So I'm going to plug those things in. Then I'll put you back on the stand for rolling it up. Put the last 6-7 bolts in. Alright, I got that last electrical connection plugged in. I'm going to tip it up, make sure those wires aren't getting pinched. Seems like it's catching on something. I left the nuts on for the steering column on the studs. It was catching on that. These bolts up here have a floating nut plate on them, so they can kind of move around. I wonder if I should have put this A-pillar trim on before I put the dash in. I'll have to go grab that and see how it fits. At least I still have a little bit of wiggle room if I need, I believe. Yeah, push the dash off to the side. So we have a bolt up here. Snug them up. Another bolt here. Another one right here. Another one up in this corner. Okay. Now we got, where's that? Right here. I tried putting the bolts back like this one right by my finger that I'm hitting. So that way everything would hopefully go in the right spot. Those upper bolts, I used a 9/32. I think everything's metric on this, like this is a 10 mil. There's that tight. We'll go get the other two. One of them, for whatever reason, and I never cleaned it, has like a bunch of grease on it or something. So I left it out here on the floor, on the ground, so that way I wouldn't get my carpet dirty. You can kind of see, hopefully, all that grease and nasty stuff. And that is for, I wonder if you can see it down here. There was that bracket that came off by the heater, which I'm assuming is right in here-ish. I gotta set this down and look. So that one's getting threaded in right here. And the last bolt for the dash. Going on home. Not a terrible job, but it'd be nice if you didn't have to do this kind of stuff to like do a heater core or to clean mold. No wonder this thing was so moldy. It was like a damn aquarium in here with all that water coming in from the cowl. Yeah, I even checked on the seam. The seam that went on the engine bay side, and even that's dry. One plug. Alright, I gotta set the phone down here. Let's see if I can get some footage there. I don't know. But, yeah, even the seam in the engine bay wasn't wet, so it was definitely leaking in through that seam. And gotta pull back the carpet. Pull this plug out. Yeah, I ruined the old. Get out of there, you son of a gun. Yeah, I ruined the old antenna wire by yanking it through, and it pulled the end of the plug right off. That was freaking awesome. I found one on eBay, but the guy wanted like $98 for it. It's like, get real. It's a freaking antenna wire. And this plug plugs into some kind of computer that sits on this interior panel. So I'll put that on later. See what kind of plugs we got over on the other side. So this one, that was for like the airbag, which is no longer with us. That will be shown in another video. Making sure none of my wires are hitting the throttle cable. It's all looking good. Here's where the wires came up for the amp. So that'd be a nice spot to coil up this extra 5 feet of RCAs. I can pull that through the dash once I get it hooked up to the stereo. Sweet. I like it. Not sure what the hell this thing is. It's got electrical plugs going to it, just sitting here, dangling. Don't know, don't know. Another plug back here. Focus. This plug. I don't recall unplugging anything from it. So it must have been for a different option, I'm assuming. Yeah, that sure was nice being able to tuck these wires through. Awesome. Well, if I come up with any other progress that's worth recording, I'll show that. I got Noah out here helping me out. Finished up a few more things. Got the trim panels in. That kick panel, the other kick panel, the other trim. Instrument cluster in. The HVAC with a new switch. Boo! Is that so? Noah's testing out the carpet and the false floor. He approves. So yeah, I started on some stereo wiring too. It's coming along, but figured I'd add that in. You know, got a few other little touches done before I call it quits for the day. You're standing up big in the truck, huh? Be careful. Alrighty, everybody. That's going to be it for today. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subbing. Until next time, we'll catch you guys on the flip side.